Alright, my name is Mana Kalaki, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about evaluating sources today. How many of you guys have needed to do online research for papers and such like that? Pretty much everybody. Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys about essential kind of tips of finding sources online to make sure that they're good sources. According to the University of Central Florida's library website, there are 6 tips that you can use to help determine what a good source is from an unreliable source. They are evaluating the credentials, determining the objectivity, if it's accurate or not, the currency, determining the consistency, and evaluating the coverage. Evaluating credentials, according to the Cornell Library website, credentials are the qualifications of the author or the level of expertise. You want to make sure that the person who published the article is an expert in their field. Either they have a lot of education or a lot of experience in what they're talking about. You also want to look for credible URLs, which are generally going to be .edu or .gov endings. And you want to check for spelling and grammar. Obviously, if someone has a lot of spelling errors, you're going to question the credibility of it. Determining objectivity is next. This was also from Cornell's library website. Objectivity is the ability to describe something without being influenced from other personal experiences. You want to make sure that they cover the pros and cons of a topic. It's not just a biased opinion that the author has. You want to make sure they go back and forth with facts instead of opinions. Assessing accuracy is next. Accuracy is obviously how truthful the information is. When you go through, you want to try to find other articles that have the same facts, the same perspective as the article that you want to use, because if you can find 2 contradicting articles, you're going to question which information you should really go with, which information is really correct. Some sites like Wikipedia allow anyone to publish anything on there, so Wikipedia is not really a reliable source. You can edit anything on there that people put up. They don't document where they get their information from, so it's not really the best source to use. I did an interview with a computer science grad student here. His name is Nate Person, and he gave me a lot of good tips of a reliable source versus an unreliable source. A reliable source would generally have the author, the date it was published, the beginning of the URL will have HTTPS, which means secure. It'll also have the little padlock up next to the web address. That means it's a secure website as well. Some good examples of reliable sources are OhioLink, government websites, scholarly journals, and Google Scholar is good as well. It's different than Google because Google Scholar goes through and just picks out different journals, government websites, things like that. Unreliable sources will have a lot of ads or pop-ups on the pages. They can be on the sides like advertisements, or they can just pop up on your screen. There'll be very vague information. There won't be an author or date of when it was posted, who it was posted by. You have no idea. It could be posted by a 13-year-old person. So an example of that would be Wikipedia. As I said before, you can post anything on there. So the currency is the timeliness and prevalence of the information. You want to make sure when you're finding information that it's within the past 5 years or so. Anything before that, you're getting into kind of legacy information because everything is always changing. You also want to find information that has the new and old of how it's evolved over time, or comprehensive information. That also goes back to new and old. And online generally will just have newer information because you can update things so easily online. So print information is also good too because it will have both. You also want to know if the date associated with the article that you find is the date that it was first published or the date it was updated. They can sometimes put one or the other. Good reliable sources will generally have both. Determining the consistency. Consistency is the reliability and uniformity of the information. You want to see if there's one perspective or if there's multiple. If there's multiple, you want to find the most dominant one and see if you can find other information that has the same perspective. If you find all these different aspects in different websites, different articles, then you're going to kind of have to question it because different people can write their opinions in there that kind of influences the perspective of it. Evaluating the coverage. I got this information from virtualassault.com. They had a great article about evaluating the coverage, what you're supposed to look for, and everything like that. It's the depth and breadth of information reported. You want to determine if the information is comprehensive, as I said before, or if it just contains either the new or old. You also want to find broad aspects on your topic first when you're starting out your research, and then narrow it as you're getting more into your research, more into your topic. Online information, as I said before, generally is not as comprehensive as print. So in conclusion, when you guys are doing your research, you want to make sure that you use some of these essential aspects of evaluating different sources. You want to make sure that you get good information. There's plenty of different sites, there's all different good, reliable sources out there on the internet that you can use and get good information for your research. Thank you.